Hey everybody, John here. Welcome back to Catbird Hill. So I fired up the Unicorn wood splitter just for a little bit there to split just a few pieces of wood, firewood, that you could tell probably looked like it had already been split, and it had. So I did a video about a week ago. I think, in fact, it was about a week ago today that I did the last video on my new moisture meter, my General Tools moisture meter. And I was showing people, showing you guys on our wood stacks here, the different moisture levels of different pieces of wood and when I'd collected that wood, how long it had sat outside and so forth. And I said I was a little bit surprised that some of that wood was as dry as the meter was reading, just because it hadn't been, air dried that long. A lot of it had been cut and been sitting outside, but it wasn't covered. So I got a bunch of comments, which I'm really grateful for because they gave me the idea to do this video. But I love the fact that people are thinking and coming up with ideas, stuff that I would have never thought of this. But a number of comments were left in that last video saying that if I really want to check the moisture content, I should split some of that wood again and check the moisture content on the inside. And that's exactly what I just did. I split 3 pieces of white oak and a piece of maple. And all this wood had been, is the same wood that had been sitting outside in rounds, in cut rounds for a while. Most of it was elevated off of the ground. The oak was definitely, I had it up on skids. So that didn't really have any ground contact, but it hadn't been split. It had been sitting there cutting rounds for at least a couple years. So I've got the moisture meter with me today, and we're gonna redo the checking of the moisture. So what we'll do first is we're gonna check the maple. So this is the silver maple. This piece, you can tell it had been sitting on, this actually had been sitting on the ground. It's got a little bit of fungi on the outside there, but let's see what happens. We'll turn our meter on here, and yep, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna pop this in. This is the inside now. I'm gonna hold that. And it looks like it's reading right around 21%. I don't know, it might be kind of hard to see that. The lighting's a little bit hard, but that says 21.1% right there. So that's the inside, or actually right down the very middle of that maple, which you can see I did a fairly even split there on that. So that's definitely higher than what it was last week when I just checked the outside. And actually, I think that was one of the pieces that I had checked. Let's take a look at the oak. This was a nice little block of oak right here. I split it so you can see I'm opening up the matching pieces there. So let's see what the oak shows. We'll go right in the center. Again, I've got almost the same, 21.1, 21.2%. Okay. Let's do a couple other pieces of oak. Again, kind of, it was like a perfect firewood piece before, just made a little split there. Let's check the thicker side. 20.7. Okay. Last piece. This was a real long piece. You can tell, the reason I chose this piece is you can tell this has been sitting out for a bit because a lot of oak, even red oak, that outer layer of the log will get kind of punky like the sapwood, but the heartwood tends to stay really nice. Oak, I've found that at least oak seems to last outside without degrading as much. Let's see, okay, last piece here, we'll check it out. Wow, 14, let's see here. We got it up to 13.5, 13.6%, somewhere in that range. So that's actually drier than I thought it would be, especially with the, thinking that maybe the inside of the oak would be a little more moist. This is a thinner piece, you compare to some of the others, so maybe that has something to do with it. So there's no doubt, you guys were right. There is absolutely no doubt that when you open up that wood, it's a higher moisture content than testing it on the surface. And thank you so much for sending those comments in. I had never ever thought about that. I just figured, you get it cut down to usable size for firewood, and I tend to split the wood that we're selling here a little bit smaller because we're putting it into bundles, so it packs easier, and the people who are purchasing it are using it for a lot of them are using it for wood stoves and small fire pits, maybe some of those solo stove type devices. So I don't want really big, chunky logs in there for them. So I just assumed, if you tested it on the outside, it would be pretty consistent. But that's really an interesting little experiment there, is to open up some pieces and see what the moisture content is on the inside. I know somebody suggested it might be up in, maybe in the mid 20%. So we didn't have anything, at least these pieces weren't that high, but definitely this needs to dry longer. I know that oak takes longer to dry from everything I've read and heard. So I had not intended on selling this right now. I've got a decent amount of wood that I have that's been weathering and seasoning for a little bit. I still have probably enough firewood ready to go to do another maybe 50 bundles or so. It's just gotten cold literally overnight. This is Sunday the 27th. Yeah, Sunday, March 27th. And it has been an insane week. We've had temperatures up near 70 degrees. Right now it's in the mid 30s. It was, when I started shooting the video this afternoon, it was snowing. Today we've had sunshine, we've had rain, we've had snow, and right now we're having some pretty gusty winds, and it's going down to 18 or 19 degrees tonight, 20 degrees tomorrow night. So it's interesting, people I guess are thinking about their burning their wood stoves and fireplaces. So we've been selling some more bundles in the last week. I guess everybody knew this weather was coming, but kind of crazy weather here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Anyhow, I just wanted to do that video, and in response to those great comments, please keep the comments coming. Thanks so much for watching. I'm really enjoying reading all the comments and the feedback. We're trying to, get videos out a little more frequently now. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please share it with anybody who you think might like this content, and click the bell icon to make sure you know when we upload new videos. Till next time, John here from Catbird Hill. Take care.